Welcome back to ORUathletics.com. I'm Barry Scott. I'm here with head men's soccer coach Ryan Bush. The Golden Eagles finished the season 8-8-2 overall and 3-2-1, in the Summit League, finishing with a share of the Summit League title. Coach, it's the first title since 2004. You won it in 2001 as a player, and now in 2014 as a coach. How's that feel?
It's a phenomenal feeling. The guys have worked exceptionally hard, and I think it makes it sweeter where we've come from. Whenever we took over the program, 2 years ago or last year, we got picked last in the conference and we finished second. And this year we didn't feel like we got the respect that we deserved. And this year they picked us fourth, and we got to share the regular season conference championship. So, it feels phenomenal as a coach, but overall I'm just proud of the guys, all the hard work and effort that they've put in, and everything that they've overcome along the way, which is a lot. Whenever you're not there day in and day out in the grind, you don't really understand everything that they've achieved and everything that they've overcome. Just looking back 3 years ago and 4 years ago, where the program was at. So for me, really proud of the kids, the effort they put in, and the things that they've accomplished over the last 2 years.
You kind of mentioned where the program was at one point. Some might have said we're one of the worst in the nation, and then you've built on that last season with 6 wins. Now you've got 8 wins. You just got to kind of be proud, especially the seniors and the juniors who've been around the program for a couple of years.
Yeah, there's no question. I think looking back on things, there's 2 things that I think are really that we're going to look back on the senior class and look at the legacy that they left. And I think one is a year ago they broke a defensive record, the least amount of goals ever allowed on the program. A year before, they were the worst defensive team in the United States. So obviously a huge accomplishment. I think that's an expression of their hard work. And I think the second thing is they finished in the regular season this year 8-7-2. On one of the most difficult schedules, put together in the last decade, and they finished on a winning record, which I think is huge for them. 3 years ago, I think they had won, maybe 3 Division I games or something like that in the regular season. So, looking at where they've come from, the hard work that they put in, I mean, it's phenomenal. It makes me so proud as a coach. And as we continue to move forward and we talk about building the culture of the program, we're going to look at them and look at the legacy that they left and the foundation for excellence and hard work, and the core values that we preach day in and day out. We're going to look back on them and the example that they set, and to me, they've transcended expectation. It's just been a phenomenal thing to watch those guys grow, for them to grow the program, and now we're going to look back and see everything that they left behind.
This season, start of the season, is really kind of up and down. You got some big wins. You opened the season with a win against Missouri State, who was picked to win the Valley. You got some it was kind of an up and down. Then you went through a little bit of a lull, and in the season you scored 9 goals in the final to end the regular season in the last 4 games. You've played really well in the conference semifinal match against Western Illinois. Talk a little bit about the adversity that the guys kind of fought through. Was that a lot to go back with what they dealt with in the past?
Yeah, soccer's interesting. We changed our brand of soccer from a year ago. A year ago, we set in, defended really hard, very blue-collar, hard-working. We were going to grind games out and try to win them 1-0. It's just the way that we play. This year, it was a very possession-oriented team. We were going to gamble a lot of numbers into the attack, try to make the game happen, try to build the game. And mid-season, we were doing a really good job. We were dominating possession, creating the better opportunities we felt like in 80-90% of the games, but we didn't finish the opportunities. And I think there's an adjustment that has to take place. Whenever you're used to sitting in and defending, there's not as much space in behind the defense. You don't have to transition as well. And we got out and really attacked, and we gambled numbers forward. So there's a lot of transitional moments that maybe we made mistakes on and we got counterattacked on. And I think as we adapted to the style, soccer is a very rhythmic sport. So as the season went on, we adapted to the style. And we started to, we weren't making as many mistakes and as many errors. And the team continued to play really quality soccer. And I think towards the end of the year, they finally got rewarded for the quality of soccer that they played. And we had some adversity. There was a few games where we didn't score goals. We created phenomenal chances, and the ball just didn't go in the back of the net. And Soccer's like that. Sometimes it's a cruel sport. You don't get rewarded for quality play. But I think, if you look at the top clubs in the world, the top teams in the world, they play a very possession-oriented style. And I just believe, and I think the top coaches in the world would agree with this, if you continue to play quality soccer, the goals are going to come at the right time. And we were committed to continue to play quality soccer. We didn't ever try to drop in and defend. The guys made the game happen and created great opportunities. And towards the end of the year, we really began to click on all cylinders and finished the year really strong, and probably were unfortunate not to be in a conference championship game.
One of the guys who played well all season long, scored 3 goals in the last week of the season, Johnny Chavez, finished as the offensive player of the year in the conference and led the conference with 10 goals. How big was he throughout his senior season for you all?
Yeah. Obviously big. I mean, he was about a third of our offense. And, a year ago we had the least amount of goals in the league. We were phenomenal defensively. This year we led the league in offensive goals, tied with Denver, I believe. So, he's a big part of that. I think the bigger part of Johnny Chavez is just how much he's grown up and matured over the last couple of years. I mean, he almost scored as many goals in his senior year as he did, his previous 3 years. So, he's growing, he's maturing, he's going to have a chance to continue to play now afterwards. I think the other great thing about Johnny is just seeing him work. It's as hard as I've seen him work. I've been watching Johnny play since he was 15 years old. And I've never seen him this focused, and he's just his intensity and energy that he trains with, and he's always working outside of practice. We always see him after practice. He's out running sprints, working on finishing, doing the things that next level players do. I mean, he's just worked exceptionally hard, and you got to give him a lot of credit.
I talked about Johnny a little bit. You're losing some other key seniors in Griffith Point Dexter, Trevor LaFoon, Wayne Farmer, among others. But you also got a lot of young guys that were able to contribute this year. Some newcomers. You had 2 all newcomer teams in Kaspar Kokis and Tariq Salkic. How big are they going to be the future of this program?
We had a really good recruiting class. There's no question. We had, I believe, 4 guys that came in that have all represented their country. So anytime you can get 4 national team kids in one class, that's a big deal. And they came in and they did a good job of complementing what we had, which is what we wanted. We recruited some transfers and older players to, give the older guys a chance to go after a conference championship. The young guys are going to do well. We had some guys that didn't get a lot of playing time this year that we're really excited about, but we're a little bit older, and some of those guys didn't see a lot of playing time. But I'll tell you, overall, just going back to what the seniors have meant to the program, the legacy that they left and the hard work that they put in, I think it's a really good teaching point for those younger guys. Those younger guys really have exceptional leaders to look up to. Those guys that have just graduated, they've been through a lot, they've come through a lot, they've overcome adversity. They've set an excellent example of just hard work and dedication and what it means to be committed. And those younger guys got to see them win a conference championship this year, and they've got to see all their hard work pay off. So I think the example that those older guys have set, that the seniors have set, and those younger guys being able to follow in their footsteps is really going to be able to make them that much better. They're talented, they're gifted, but lots of programs probably feel like they have talented, gifted young guys. So I think them following in the footsteps of what these older guys have left behind is really going to be the difference maker for these guys moving forward.
Okay. And going forward, final question here, going forward as a staff, what do you think you guys need to do to help the program continue to grow and ultimately get into the NCAA tournament?
Well, we're big on culture. We preach it every day, and it's never ending. We probably preach it until the guys get sick of it. So those 8 core values that make up who we are as a program, they are hands down the most important thing for us to winning championships is a fruit of your hard work and labor, and we believe that. We've got to continue to grind. We've got to continue to outwork teams. The guys got to continue to buy into the culture of the program, what we're building day in and day out. And I think if we continue to do that, not just as the players, but as a staff, we've got to outwork them. We've got to continue to work and outwork other staffs, and our kids have got to continue to work and outwork other programs. And there's hardworking programs out there. Overall, it's going to be buy-in to the culture of the program and, what we're trying to produce day in and day out. I think that's what's really going to allow us to be able to transcend expectation and really get over the hump and get into the national tournament, which is, we don't just want to get into the national tournament. We have far bigger goals than that. I would say that in the whole scheme of things, that's a small goal for us. And it's probably difficult to say right now because we haven't achieved it yet in the last 2 years. But I think their continual buy-in to the culture, and I have a lot of trust in these guys that they're going to continue to build on the foundation that's been laid and just continue to make it better and better.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. Congrats on the season. Like I said, ORU men's soccer, they finished the season 8-8-2 overall, 3-2-1 the conference, and finished the season with the conference share of the regular season title in the Summit League. For more updates on ORU men's soccer all throughout the upseason, visit oruathletics.com.